Hello everybody. Many people ask which UR characters to get first and why I advise everyone to improve them, even free-to-play players. Here's one of my accounts on which there is absolutely no donation. Here UR Sylvana is in full Nexus, UR Alice 2, UR Karamet A3, UR Shar A3, and recently I started improving Mischa here for Guild Wars and Frontlines. I improve other characters on other accounts, and I have a lot to tell you about the UR class characters. There will be the top 5 most important characters at the moment in my opinion. And by the way, Alice is not one of the top 5, and I'll explain why. And let's also talk about the characters that I didn't include in this top, but they can be actively used in many game activities. The first character to get out of the UR class is Lunox. Why her? It's all about her realm skill. When allies die, they resurrect after 10 seconds. From the moment of the next death, the resurrection timer doubles. This is a very powerful boost to your team's survival at any level of the game and in any activity. And the biggest plus is that we can use even one copy of it to gain resurrection in our team. The strongest support of the game, which will be useful absolutely everywhere. PvP, PvE, guild bosses, the trial of Midas. UR Lunox has been used everywhere. That's why I advise everyone to get one copy of it. At first you don't need more, you will improve it in the future. Do you have this wonderful character? And we move on to the next hero, whom I would get right after getting the opportunity. I'm upgrading Skull Norns with the next character. First of all, she is very strong in passing the PvE content. You can use her in conjunction with Angela, and this is enough to close the heavy sections of the campaign. It's just a fan presentation of her power. Don't take it seriously since the opponent isn't that strong, but here you can see how she works. If we are talking about PvP content, she is also very strong, especially in conjunction with other characters of the Astral faction. I will try to show you soon how my incomplete team of Astral defeats teams with full Nexuses and UR characters. What makes them so strong together? Again, thanks to her realm skill, which accelerates the ultimates of our Astral heroes. And that's not all, she is the most important character to get a huge amount of points in the Minus Challenge, namely in Stage 3. I really like the character, and considering that she will be added to Sacred Invocations at the end of June, she is an excellent choice for the first choice of UR class. But only after receiving one copy of Lunox, don't forget about it. As the next hero, I would like to highlight UR Shar, one of the strongest control characters at the moment, and let's show again how it works using the example of a fan presentation. I assembled a team of all sorts of odds and ends so as not to defeat them quickly. As you can see, we cloned Saber and he has already begun to benefit by distracting the opponent's attention, and after the deaths of the characters, the opponents are given control marked with a purple mark over them. They do nothing at this time, but just run around in confusion. This was an example of how our realm skill and passive ability worked. It is actively used in PvE content, especially in the towers of the factions of Chaos and Order, where it is suitable due to the fact that it is a hybrid of these factions. I also often see it in PvP content. Personally, I really like how she works and how much control she brings to the opposing team. Definitely my top priority for improving the UR of characters. You can even get it before Norn if there are problems in the faction towers. I've been thinking for a long time about who I would get next, but I still came to the conclusion that Sylvana and Alina are on about the same level in my rating. I already have Sylvana on all my accounts, as she is quite an old character, and I haven't started on Alina yet, as she hasn't been added to the Sacred Scrolls yet. But seeing from my comrades playing with donations how it works and how it increases the survival rate of your team, I concluded that this is the top tank of the game at the moment. displacing second from the first place. That's why Alina is so useful, thanks to her shields, which we can install ourselves as angel amplifiers. The character is very useful, it remains only to wait for her appearance in the sacred scrolls. YURA Sylvana is a great character who needs only one phone for a very long time. Their combination creates difficulties in the campaign and in PvP. We can also use them together, but slightly with other supports. If you put an angel in front of them, then the difficulties will become even less. Together with phone, it causes a lot of damage and can also act as a tank. Even though she's a little old, she's still good. Now let's talk about Alice and why I wouldn't bother her right now. It's very simple. There are much stronger characters coming out who outshine her in all kinds of content. In PvP, she is easily controlled by Shatori or Mischa. And in the PvE content, on 84 chapters and beyond, she needs a very strong team to reach her potential. Let's show her an approximate team that will perfectly suit her in the middle chapters, and then I'll show the one that I and my playmates play, who have already closed all the chapters. We always use it in combination with Arista. Anyone who lives long enough for her to use the ULT several times, for example Argus, can act as a tank. We can put Rafaela or Angela, or both of them here as support. Well, if you need more control, we put a character to control, let's say Edith. The option I'm playing now is my standard Akashi team, but instead of Fursa, we put Alice. Ideally, Sylvana should be changed to Alina. Tsukiyomi is also suitable. Let Norn cosplay Alina. And instead of Old Valor, Karamit can be installed if you have improved it well or someone more worthy. Now let's talk about some good characters, but they have a slightly different role in the game and, in my opinion, they are relevant only for active players in the arena, guild war, and the front line. Namely about Shatori and Mischa. Both of these characters have excellent control over Alice, so if your server is still playing through her, you know which characters should be improved in your roster. If we talk about how they work, Mischa does not allow the opponent's characters to use the ultimate, and this is very important in PvP. And Shatori simply eats the opponent's character with a snake for a long time and your team mostly prevails. Why do I consider these characters only as PvP heroes? Because the above characters show themselves better in PvE content at times, so they can also show something in PvP bundles. But if you want to be useful to your guild, your choice should fall on these two. What can I say about Crossel? Huge damage, but very poor survival rate. If you choose from the Astral, Norn is more versatile, so I chose it. We get Karamit and Irithel through a caravan. That's where we get them from. I don't recommend wasting resources on them, even though the characters may find a place in your roster, but just why do you need them if there are divine characters that we talked about above? What do you think about these characters? Which ones do you get? I'm waiting for you in the comments and see you in the next videos.